Discovery became my first tool for my expressive life for the rest of my life. I had no intention of becoming an artist. I was a young boy, 6 years old, 7 years old, just starting school. So the whole world was right there, contained in my environment, in that Southern tradition. As I grew to become, I won't say an adolescent, a pre-adolescent, I was taken to New York City to live with my mother's sister, my Aunt Gladys. It changed my topography, it changed my sensitivities from being a country boy to being in a fast-living urban setting. And I saw everything you could imagine. It was like a space trip, but it was a space trip because I was in a whole different environment for myself, being a young boy. I got into a lot of mischief. I rambled, I roamed, I got lost. I found myself home. So I was never a problem about where I was. It was about what am I going to do where I am. I entertained myself with broken parts of furniture, little artifacts and knickknacks I would find in the streets. I was a rambler. All right, I'm going to fast forward to why am I an artist today and why am I here in African American Museum for the last 3 decades, 37, 38 years later. My baptism into the art world came in 1965, 64. When I graduated from high school, I went to an art school. I went to the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. In 1965, I was on summer break, and the demonstration at Girard College in North Philadelphia sprung up. It sprang up 2 blocks from where I lived. And I went to see that on the picket line, took my sketchbook, started sketching people, and I had a sketchbook full of people, and I went back to school. When I went back to school in that fall semester, one of my instructors looked at what I had been doing, and he looked at me with a kind of cynical, sneering, kind of rejecting look and said, "What are you going to do with yourself? You want to be a politician or a painter?" You know, and he said, "I see you painting all these people, and you're drawing all these people. What is that all about?" And I said, "It's about the people. It's about my people." So I made my decision then to use my art form as a matter of expression for how I felt politically, spiritually, socially. All of that became my toolkit. So as a matter of that, rambling around in North Philadelphia in junkyards and in abandoned houses, I found a plethora of materials, of things that I didn't know what I was going to do with them, but I was attracted to them. Over a period of time from leaving the academy, my civil rights and social activities increased, and as I became involved in the creative community, I started going to the community settlement house. I became an artist. I had teachers and people who said, "You got talent," and I explored my talent. I like Norman Rockwell, as a matter of fact, because Saturday Evening Post people, I like that. One day I'll do that. In fact, as I learned how to draw and articulate, technically speaking, I took that technical knowledge into what I really wanted to do with all that stuff I had found. I started to found object pieces. And what did I want to do with that? I started thinking about my grandmother's stories, about her grandmother. I had 3 generations of information to work with in a creative format. This one is significant because it talks about what my grandmother said her mother told her about her people being brought from Africa, from Senegal, over here from Goree Island. So I started looking at the social context of my life, history of my memory of my grandparents, and I began to place objects that had been discarded and lost and just trashed. I took the trash, I recycled it into my aesthetic and my mental attitude about our people and the oppression, and I revitalized some of that found object into an established reality that had an association with rebirth. It was an upsurge in my life, so I applied my technology and my technical skills from an academic point in order to start creating art. And this came about as a matter of a refuse piece. As you can see what it is, you have factions of toy guns, little pieces of jewelry broken off, and the outside is structured and covered in a fabric that's hardened by fabrics. It's really styrofoam. I use